Oh yes, legends, we are live. How is everybody doing? We'll be analyzing the price of Bitcoin. Is it about time to get some fireworks and explode out? Or are we just going to dump back down, guys? We've been in this massive, slightly downtrend range throughout the last 2 weeks already. And are we going to get that reversal now, as we can see that the price has wicked down beneath the lows here that we've had on the 13th of February, and we are managing to recover quite nicely right now with a pump of $1,500 approximately, right? Give or take. Is this the moment where we're going to squeeze out, get a larger move to the upside, finally get above 98, even $100,000? Is it about time, or are we going to dump back down, guys? We're going to talk about the different scenarios and possibilities, the most important levels that we need to take into consideration here for the price of Bitcoin. There's not much of resistance currently at the moment. I was really speculating on a possibility of a double top here in this range, just because of an ABC kind of possibility scenario if we do reject from the highs, and already stopped out close to break even of that trade setup. But I have to say, shout out to Aiden in the Legends trading community. Okay, there was a long position. We did have a pretty interesting wick here on Bybit. Okay, so we have to possibly analyze a different chart. There are some different charts that I want to talk about as well on the higher time frame, but I think it is important that we just take a look at another chart such as the Binance Perpetual. Okay, just to have, you know, another chart into consideration based on that wick that we did have right over here this morning on the Bybit chart. Okay, so overall we're going to take a look at a few resistance. Are we good for a short position as we are downtrending? Because hey, come on, we have been claiming the lows every single time. Or is it time to finally get that squeeze, right? Get that pop of $3,000-$4,000, right? Finally change this structure that we've had for 2 weeks already. Very boring, guys. There is a chance, of course. I want to do the technical analysis, talk about the major levels of interest, okay? We'll be flip-flopping in between this chart and the Binance one. I mainly do my analysis on the Bybit chart, but overall, this wick is going to give us a little bit of distraction, okay? It was only happening here on Bybit. Let's go right away through the comment section. People are bored. People are leaving. People don't trust the crypto market anymore, okay? Oh, hang on a second. Because you guys can't see me. You can only see El Gato. Did anybody say? My goodness, let me just turn this on 1 second. For some reason, my camera is not working, so we'll have to do a... Yeah, for some reason the camera is not working, guys. But anyway, I don't think anybody's interested in checking me out. Maybe yes, maybe no. Let me just sort out the camera here. Now potentially camera is not working. I'll have to check what is the reason, but it's not going to be now, legends. So we'll just do a faceless stream, okay? We'll have to do a faceless stream. There we go. We got it. Nothing too important, really. Oh, yeah, it's not going to work. I don't know what's happened. But anyway, regardless, we'll get that out of the way. You don't need to see me. It was almost about to work, but never mind. We are live. Hola, hola. Let's go right away. We're going to do a faceless live stream, guys. Anyway, once in a while, it is okay. Nothing to worry. Make sure to destroy that like button, okay, on your way in. And we're going to analyze the price of Bitcoin. Is this pump legit, guys? That is the most important question. Now, I have to give a shout out. This was a very much acceptable sniper long position here as we were sweeping up these lows, all right? Shout out to Aiden in the Legends trading community for providing that long setup in text, okay? Early this morning, we were ready. This was the only long good setup that was provided, and that is the one that is getting a bounce of $1,500 approximately right now. All right, already hitting TP1, eventually almost reaching TP2, which is looking pretty damn interesting. Anyway, shout out to Aiden. Anybody that is in the Legends trading community is very much aware that this was the long to get into. Now, if we do take a look at why that long position, we're going to keep it really simple. Basically, it has been just a liquidity grab from this pivot low. And we also hit the 𝗕𝗿𝗿 Fibonacci from the pivot low here of the 12th of February to the pivot high. Okay, so overall, this is the simple explanation that why we did hit, why we got that bounce. Okay, we can see the 𝗕𝗿𝗿 Fibonacci and the pivot low here of the 13th of February, getting that nice bounce, claiming the local highs. Now, the question is, because, hey, I think I'm probably going to do the analysis. It's just because I have the levels marked up on this chart. Based on the levels, I always use Bybits. It's highly, I'm probably going to transition to Binance as it is the highest one with volume. It doesn't really matter. There's good volume on Bybit as well. But there was a speculation short here, which was a sniper entry based on an SFP of these local highs. You can be extremely defensive. And this for me was, it could still happen. It could still happen, but we're trading above the level right now. So I'm not really interested. There's no rejection here on this second breakout. So we are trading above the local highs. We did get an SFP. And this was a speculative short position. Okay, you can be very defensive on this. You basically short the rejection, stop loss at the high. You start being defensive as price goes in your favor. But then the price is, just squeezed out right now with a bit of a, wick, kind of a breakout. If we do reject from this zone, it's going to be quite interesting. All right, we have been down trending throughout the last few weeks. Every little pump, I was speculating on a reversal here, but then back down, then up, down again today, and now up again. Is this just going to be a trap, right, for the bulls once again, and we coming back down, right? Well, the best level to speculate, of course, is actually a liquidity grab, which is very acceptable, as you can see right there. Now we're just getting this squeeze. Now the question is, can we manage to just push through and claim this high at $97,000, which is ultimately the target zone here that Aiden has provided in the Legends trading community today. Very beautiful long setup at 95.2, and then looking for that really nice move up of $1,800. TP1 was very much nicely hit here just in the last few hours, and now we're getting that squeeze to the upside. Let's see if we can head all the way up to $97,000. Whoever's in the Legends trading community knows what we are talking about. There should be some longs being entered throughout today because we were testing the lows here. Nice, beautiful swing failure pattern. Bounced happened. I'm in a very small long position, added to the position ever so slightly. To see if we do get a larger reversal. Okay, let's see if we do get that larger reversal, but I'm skeptical. I don't trust Bitcoin right now. This is the moment where I am in doubt of Bitcoin, right? Why am I in doubt? Because every time we have a possibility of a reversal, we just get dumped back down on our heads, guys. So is this the moment? We're still trading above these highs. But today's speculation on the lower time frame, and I will go a little bit in detail on the higher time frame here, which could still happen because there is a very nasty 5-wave move up here. I think we could be rejecting down to these lows now as we speak, right? If we do count the waves to the upside, it is almost a perfect 5-wave move up. What do you get after a 5-wave move up? A correction to sweep up the 4th wave. We are rejecting from here. I'm going to be a little bit conservative. I did have one attempt already on the swing failure pattern. We were moving down, looked pretty good. We got one more leg to the upside, and now we rejected. This could have been a local double top. I mean, stop loss is getting a little bit further away here. In this case, you can't manage risk that well. I would rather get into a sign of weakness. And what is a sign of weakness? Well, eventually is getting a little bit more of a breakdown, okay, and analyzing the first wave and the bounce to maybe backtest the local highs and then get into a short position, right? Just speculating that, hey, this has been a trap. We ain't going to push higher. But you might think to yourself, hey, this has moved in a 5-wave move, right? Shouldn't a 5-waver be an impulse? You're expecting a correction and then continuation to the upside. Yes, however, this 5-waver here could be part of an ABC correction right over here, right? Where it's a flat. You test the lows, you test the highs, and then it's dumping back down to the lows of the range. It's possible, okay? I already had an attempt. I am going to remain a little bit patient here based on looking at the rejection, first of all, to be pretty successful. And it can be a little bit challenging because maybe this has been the low, because there is a way from this pivot at least to count a little bit of a 5-waver. So yeah, this is the only issue here, right? You don't want 5 waves in a B wave if you're counting an A, B, C flat. So there is a little bit of an issue here based on this flat. However, it could still be possible, okay? So if we do reject pretty powerfully, I have to say that the back test of these pivot highs has to be the level, the proven level of support, but we need a solid rejection. We need a solid breakdown, especially below the previous day value area high, okay? Now this is taking a look at the Binance chart, okay? Previous day value area high, you know, we are basically below the level right now. We got previous day point of control, getting a bit of a reaction. There we go. We're getting the rejection now. We are getting the rejection. This is going to be very interesting to see. If we do break down, you know, pretty nicely beneath these lows, the pullback up is going to be relatively interesting. If we do get that leg to the upside here, very corrective, possible back test. Then we got our wave 1, wave 2, wave 3 back down, right? 4 and 5, and we just breaking down here from the lows. Yeah, this was actually not a bad short attempt. However, the movement up was a little bit aggressive. It was a little bit aggressive, but this is the kind of local double tops that you would want to attempt, and you could really just put your stop loss right now to break even. Your stop loss could be hit, you know, put at break even right now, just to pay a bit of fees. And if you do get that movement up, you just get stopped out at break even, and you analyze very carefully if that re-entry of the short is worth it, right? So big rejection right now as we speak. We're going to take a look at the levels and the different scenarios, but we're just heavily downtrending, okay? We are heavily downtrending now. What a major rejection. Anybody that got into that swing failure pattern here, double top, basically, you know, is in a good position. I would really consider not taking profits, just being defensive here, just in case this has turned out to be an ABC flat, and the price is going to come down to claim the lows. This would be your target zone, right? Every time we have been claiming the lows, guys, throughout the last not few days, even the last few weeks. So why not come down and claim the lows again, right? And this would have been your best option. Let's see the bounce if we were to get some kind of bounce. Okay, let's see if we do get some kind of bounce, at least to see if we do hit basically those highs and the back test zone, and we'll analyze very carefully on the lower time frame to see if it's going to be worth it for that short position. Okay, so we're just, you know, claiming the lows. This could be the 4th wave, right? This does look very, very nice for a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is the classic move that you know, it can be an impulse, don't get me wrong, but it could also be an ABC flat, okay? And then you're just coming down to the lows, and your C wave of a flat needs to have 5 waves. So it's just something that I'm considering right now, looking at the lower time frames. And, you know, let's see how this bounce reacts, right? Preferably, if this is going to be a large impulsive move to the downside, we at least get to the 50% Fibonacci. So the bounce here is going to be very interesting locally, guys. Remember, we are looking for scalps, day trade scenarios, right? We just like in the game of what is happening now, right? We can take into consideration the higher time frame. Okay, I'm just going to set some alerts here if we do get that bounce, because that is the level of interest, because I want to start focusing a little bit on the slightly higher time frame here, guys, so we can understand a little bit of the overall structure. We don't have to pay too much attention to this wick because this is on Bybit. We suddenly got a little bit of a massive, massive selling pressure, massive dump down. But I want to go through a little bit of the structure, right? Try and come to the conclusion, why are the internal levels important and what are the different scenarios that could happen? I got stopped out here on my long position yesterday, right? This long position that we had right over here, based on the naked point of control, right? There's an explanation on every single trade, guys, okay? So, there is obviously an explanation on why did you enter. Where is your stop loss? Are you managing risk, right? Well, this one right over here where I entered yesterday, just on the little bounce of the naked point of control here, high volume node, it was stopped out in the end, guys. This turned out to be more of an impulsive move down, right? Is it a double 1-2 or is it a finished structure here to the downside? But we were speculating yesterday that if this is going to be some kind of bearishness, you really don't want to come up to these highs and you want to start rejecting at the 618 Fibonacci, the 78 Fibonacci, and the 618 Fibonacci, guys, from this corrective structure was the one that got rejection yesterday, right? This correction throughout the weekend ended up in a WXY, very, very complex. But overall, when we do take a look here at this move down and this bounce, we had a zigzag right over here, a flat right over here, and then we had a triangle. We had a triangle here in an A, B, C, D, E. And then the impulsive move starts here. So this turned out to be a WXY throughout Saturday and Sunday. And the speculation yesterday was the bearish case and the bullish case. So if we do have the correction here ending at this point in a complex WXY zigzag flat triangle, and then you break down and you start the impulse, right? You basically need to take the bearish case into consideration, right? I don't want to short down here, so I did not short throughout Sunday. So in a consolidation or at certain levels of support, I want to get into the long, and I preferred the 7-8 Fibonacci to get into the short because it was just claiming this high over here. And the golden pocket from this pivot, which is basically the start of this movement down. And you do have the 5 waves move down here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you got the ABC. It was very zigzaggy. My goodness. Price of Bitcoin getting the movement down. Screw the bulls, guys. ABC flat is very much a possibility. This is what I mean. I get stopped out at break even many times, guys. And maybe the price is going to come down back to the lows. And as I was getting the stream ready and, basically just distracted, this was an acceptable entry. I mean, stop loss is getting a little bit far away. In this case, I mean, I like very shallow swing failure patterns. When it gets very large, then I'm like, yeah, I don't want to short here and stop loss here just because of the gap of the stop loss. But, in this case, you do enter with a smaller position. And if you do the micro counts, it makes sense. This wick, don't pay attention. We don't need to pay attention at this wick. But this was a wave 1, 2, 3. Sorry, my bad. This was actually the low. I need to flip here to the Binance chart and zoom in on the lower time frames just so we clear, because we have that confusing wick here on Bybit. But the low was here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now the question is this an impulse? And we are going to form a little bit of a zigzaggy structure here and then get the breakout? Or has this been an ABC flat? And we are rolling back down to the lows and we're going to break, right? Or attempt to break the $95,000. That is my question right now. And I was interested in longs here as Aiden provided, and interested in short at the double top. I got out of this position with this movement to the upside, and I missed out on shorting this rejection. I mean, it was a pretty large wick, but if you have large wicks and large stop losses, I mean, the risk to reward is still eventually very good, but it was an acceptable re-entry here, especially if you got stopped out at break even, to target the lows, basically. And this has to do with a speculative ABC flat. Yeah, I missed out on that. You know, this is the thing. This is the life of a trader. You know, I managed to jump into the long, not much of a great position, to be honest, and missed out on the short. Now, I wish that the price will correct like this and then moon, right, form a little bit of a zigzag, and this turns out to be bullish. It's a wave one, just because I missed the short. Go through higher time frame analysis on the price of Bitcoin right away. But first of all, let's do comment section, guys, because this stream is not about, oh, you know, this was the level to short, well, what now, right? This is, you know, what shall we do now? What are the next scenarios and next levels that we should take into consideration for the next trading opportunity? Because for me, the trading opportunities today was sweeping the lows and sweeping the highs. Sweep the lows, and this, you know, you need to take profit on this. Eventually, as Aiden provided here in the Legends trading community, profits have to be taken from the long position, especially with this rejection, and consider a short hedge. Consider a short hedge here. This was the only two levels of interest today to get into a trade. And this one, I got wicked out, right? It's just things that happen. Things that happen, you get wicked out just because it was, you know, the calculation of that trading setup should have been much better analyzed. But you know, I was getting the live stream ready because this was very three wavy, right? This was actually pretty three wavy when you did claim the highs and you got a swing failure pattern. So if you are speculating on an ABC flat, which has a possibility, you know, we need to say this does have a possibility that it could form an ABC, that it is an ABC flat. And now we're just going to break down to the bottom here. And it looks like we are. So, yeah. Oh, man, guys, I cannot always be in a trade. Yeah. But this was an acceptable shorting scenario. That there is a chance, guys, that we do come down. I mean, this movement down is looking pretty aggressive, I have to say. If this is going to be ending, if this ends up being an impulse, this correction already is like, hey, you know, calm down, Bitcoin. But anyway, we're gonna analyze this bounce. We're gonna analyze a bounce if we do get one. This is an aggressive move down, I have to say. Let's take a look at CVD right away, see what's going on. Yeah, no major bullish CVD divergence. ever so slightly. We got some bullish CVDs. We did not take out this low. We do have some slightly bullish CVD divergence here on Bybit with the shorts entering, but nothing too major. You know, based on this analysis, I wouldn't consider the bullish case. We'd have to see first the 3-wave move down. Okay, so I'm sorry guys, maybe some of you want higher time frame analysis, but we are here to scalp and day trade. I have to say, that's where I look for the different setups, right? This is what we look at in the day, right? If we can get a move of $1,500, we are in, and if we can get in safely with good risk management, that is what we're looking for. And you know, the level to get into a short, head short, which I explained today in the Legends trading community, was basically, you know, kind of speculating on that ABC flat, which was taking out the highs locally here and coming down. However, I did not coordinate here with the fifth wave, here. So this was just with the drawing lines basically on the update, where we could get an attempt to break out here and SFP, and this could be a flat structure ABC to get the movement down on today's explanation, just giving you the different perspectives. Because if you do not consider the ABC flat, many will see this as the low, and that this is an impulse in 5 waves. And then your question here is, hey, shouldn't this have been an impulse because we've, you know, moved in a 5 wave here, strong move to the upside, and this should be corrective and we should be forming another move up? And that's when you move out ever so slightly and you really, you know, understand that the price of Bitcoin is very much downtrending still. We like it or not, guys. I wish for the reversal. Not wish, I just know the levels where to enter. And we need to take profit regardless, right? We need to scratch some dollars, because no matter how many attempts we try and long, I mean, these were day trade longs, okay? I profited from all of these ones throughout last week. But yesterday, no profit. Today, I did scratch some profits and I did add to the position, but already out of that position because, yeah, basically I added beneath this low over here, stop at break even, no longer in that position. But we need to scratch some profits. And I was interested in the short, but I got wicked out on this latest move here to the upside. We got wicked out on this latest move, which should have been analyzed much carefully, because in an ABC flat, on the C wave, you do want 5 waves. And, you know, the swing failure pattern happened on a 3-wave move up. So you add your 4th and your 5th. Now, for this movement down, it's extremely aggressive. I do not have the guts. I do not have the balls, guys, to jump into a long right there. Even though the price V-shapes, I will have to say I missed the long position. I'm not getting in here, guys. I'm not getting into this waterfall considering the ABC flat. No, thank you. Not me. Or jump into a short position down here when you swept up these lows. Yeah, no, this is a no trade zone. For me, this is right now a no trade zone. I am aware that the price could continue down to the lows. And if I enter a short here, you know, hey, this is drop right now. It might get an epic bounce. You know, where am I putting stop loss? It's just there's no stop loss zone. And if I jump into a long position, would I put stop loss at the low here? No. I mean, there's no reason to believe that this has to stop here, unless you're looking at the Fibonacci retracement from the pivot low to the pivot high. 7/8 Fibonacci. it is an aggressive long. You know, there's just no, you're trying to break down the previous day value area low, you're breaking down the daily open, you're breaking down the, you know, the VWAP. VWAP could act as resistance ever so slightly now with the previous day value area low. If we do recover back above, it might be a short-term sign of strength that we get back above the previous day value area low and the VWAP. But even though, guys, I would be interested in the short position on the bounce. This is very one wavy, right? Sorry, guys, this is scalping. This is aggressive scalping, you know, analysis, right? We should be really focusing on a little bit on the higher time frame, guys, just to analyze the overall perspective on the projection that could happen here in the next, you know, between today and tomorrow, and have other trading plans. I'm just really enjoying the local price action here, based on the possibilities. So trying to get back above the previous day value area low. The thing is, if this were to be impulsive, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this movement has been very aggressive and very one wavy, right? You at least want to see another wave, or at least a sideways range to be formed. This is very one wavy. A V shape is very rare, very unlikely to happen, right? You don't see V shapes happening. So the bounce here is going to be very interesting to analyze for a possible short. Just because I do see this a pretty sharp move down. This does look more aggressive than this movement up, right? It looks like a decision aggressive move to the downside. So the bounce here has to be monitored very, very carefully. I mean, if we were to come up, you know, 618 is going to be an option. The higher, the better. The higher the bounce, the better. 78 would be coming like very, very far away here to the upside to back test these highs. But if we do move up here in a nice 3-wave structure, we get that nice move up here in this zone, we need to consider the possibility of an ABC flat. I mean, this would be my only zone of interest, just to really speculate on that third wave down, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, yeah. At the moment, in no trade, managed to scratch some dollars on the long position. I did add ever so slightly to the position, just as I was profiting from that long trade setup that Aiden did provide in text here very, very nicely early this morning in the Legends trading community. Okay, guys. So, I mean, you know, the levels are the levels. They are respected. We need to take some profits on the way up, especially if we swing failure pattern right from some highs, and consider the short trade. You know, at the moment right now, I'm not in any trade position, but, you know, it was very, just a little move up here, managed to scratch some dollars. But now in no trade. In no trade. This was a very, you know, this is $1,000 move down. You want to, you know, if you entered this short position based on the rejection of a 5-wave move up, and this is the kind of trade that I get into as well, guys. I just missed it this time. I missed it this time. This is the kind of trade that we do talk about many times on the stream, which is speculating at the end of a 5th wave, and usually the corrective wave gets down at least to the 4th wave. But in this case, we are speculating that this could actually break down the lows of today. And that has to do with this ABC flat, of course. Okay. So, and this is very local, guys. I should really be doing some slightly higher time frame analysis, which should be, you know, the 15-minute. Okay. We're going to do a little bit of higher time frame analysis now, because if we break down, what are the levels of interest? If we break to the upside, what are the levels of interest, right? Or more locally, you know, can I jump into the short? Because if I miss this short, right, you could have another entry point, right? You could have, hey, if this bounces to the upside here with a three-wave structure and we form bearish local CVD divergence, which is possible on Bybit. Bybit is very, very close to the highs here, and you could definitely form some higher highs here and lower highs and then break down back beneath the low created. So yeah, I mean, there's always an opportunity, right? There's always an opportunity, guys. If you want to catch some opportunities while you're managing risk, remember that on weeks, you do get $100 for free just for signing up and linking your phone number. $100, guys. Super easy. I think this bonus is going to go till the end of the month. I'm not too sure the date here where it finishes. But guys, this is $100 for free just by signing up on weeks and linking your phone number, and that you'll be airdropped, okay, to your platform, right, to your account, to your futures account in the next 24 to 48 hours, the team told me. And if you do deposit another $200, you're getting another $100 extra, guys. Take advantage of that bonus. Let's see, I do have it round over here. Yeah, that bonus here on weeks, where you also get a $100 extra just by depositing $200. Easy peasy, $100 and another extra $100 as you deposit $200, guys. So $200, you flip it so you can have more capital for your trading. For all of the big players out there, you know, the more you trade, the more volume you make here with your trading, the more airdrops you're going to get, and that is up to $30,000, okay? You also got that 50% fee reduction. Take advantage, guys, of that 50% fee reduction, because everybody likes cheap fees, right? So you only get that with signing up here with a link down below, which is the second link, guys. Take advantage. We are going to be analyzing some altcoins, but we want to analyze the price of Bitcoin, guys. Where is the next opportunity that I am getting in? Because, damn. Missed out on the short. Well, I got stopped out. I got stopped out here, being very defensive as always. This is what happens as well as a defensive trader, that you might get wicked out. But if I would have been on my concentration hour of trading, I would have very likely given it another attempt right there on this rejection. The only thing was stop loss. I mean, in the case that you do have, you know, a pretty wide stop loss, because remember, you need to adjust your risk management based on your stop loss length as well, okay? And, you know, I'm usually used to a stop loss of about $100 to $200. When the stop loss gets to $300-400, I need to adjust the risk, because like I mentioned, you always risk in between 1 and 2%, max 3% of your capital. And when I have a larger range on the price for my stop loss, more than usual, because my usual stop loss, guys, I have to say, as a day trader, it's between $100 and $200 on average. So it's very easy to calculate your risk to reward. But when it starts getting above $300 and even $400, you kind of need to double down, right? Double down as in you're using less risk for the potential, right? This is why when we have large stop losses, I like, yeah, I'm not getting into the trade. But yeah, regardless, you know, this is the life of a trader, right? You're really very interested in a zone where you could swing failure pattern, and you do have a legit analysis, right, based on an ABC flat here, potential to test the lows and even break down them, right, with bounce or without bounce, and you execute the trade on the swing failure pattern from this pivot, right? That was the idea here. You start moving down, you start lowering your stop loss to close to break even, right? And you get wicked out very defensively, and then the price goes in the direction that you want, you know, you were basically projecting, right? This happens many times. You know, you know, this happens, so I don't get pissed off about it. It's just part of the game, right? However, you know, also you on this scenario, as you understand, anybody that has you know, a bit of basic knowledge on Elliott wave theory, your C wave needs to have 5 waves up, right? In this case. And that is if it is an ABC, because you need to claim the lows. Now the question is, hey, what if this is impulsive and all of this that's happening here is corrective, and you're actually going to back test this pivot low, and you're going to form a higher low here at the 7.8 or the 0.88, which would be rare. So I mean, your attempt here, we're coming down to, I mean, this is holding relatively nicely, the 7.8 Fibonacci, but kind of forming a little local double bottom. You know, really, if you're attempting this, your stop loss is beneath the lows. I wouldn't go with a stop loss down here. It's not worth getting stopped out 4 times the amount, right? Because if you lose the level, then you know you're gonna lose more, right? In this case. So anyway, we're going to do a little bit of higher time frame. This is, you know, for anybody that is bullish and looks like that this is going to get a bounce, this is very aggressive. If you are looking at this as a correction based on this 1 2 3 4 5, this is an aggressive correction. If we were to, you know, start moving up here, it's very one wavy, it's very aggressive. So you need to understand, you know, the overall trend is to the downside of the last few days. You need to really understand that the probabilities of longing a movement down like this is you know, it's against your odds. Okay, if you know, the only good long position in a downtrend at very good specific levels would only be a swing failure pattern for me, right? Especially if you move down so aggressively. You know, this is a risky long trade, I have to say. This is not a long trade that I would enter just to say, you know, just to speculate of, you know, what if this is bullish and this is a correction and now we're just going to recover? We need to see some, you know, some different kind of movements here, because this looks very aggressive down, okay? If we would have moved down here like this in a chop, right, 3-wave structure that was, you know, chilling, moving down, you start forming some bullish CVD divergence here with the higher lows and lower lows on CVD. Then I would have said, you know what, this actually looks pretty damn good, right? And you basically swing failure pattern from these pivot lows and you're moving slowly to the downside. Then I would say, yeah, I like this trade. I would consider it. But with this aggressive move down, it's just it's a no trade zone. It's very, you know, it's a no trade zone. We've moved down too fast. It's very one wavy. You know, even though if we do bounce, I do think that we could claim the lows here just to complete a 3-wave move, or you know, possibly break down. But you know, this would be the possible attempt because you do have a 3-wave move, and that's what we want, right? In a correction, not a 1-wave. So very difficult trading setup here. Even though if we do V-shape and we do get an epic bounce here and we start pumping here, which is the you know, which is I don't think it's the highest probability movement. So it's just a difficult trade setup. Anyway, let's go right away through the comment section. Don't buy, sell. Yes, Bitcoin to $2,000. 𝗕𝗶𝗴𝗽. Come on, no, not 2,000. Maybe 85,000, maybe $70,000. That is realistic. That could happen, but not 2,000. You know, if it might as well go to 0 if it goes to $2,000. Let's go through the comment section, guys. Make sure to destroy that like button. Yesterday, guys, I was extremely disappointed, and sorry for not showing my face today. We're going to do a little bit of higher time frame. We're just really analyzing this area, which is, you know, it's exciting. I like to analyze here the lower time frame, looking for some scalps here and some, you know, reading the local price action instead of zooming out too much, right? But we need to zoom out a little bit to understand a little bit of the perspective of the waves, and it's just been so long, guys, and ranging How long has this been ranging for, right? Since we basically hit $102,000. Since the 4th of February, it is the 18th. Yeah, 2 weeks. 2 weeks right now. It's getting very, very boring, this up and down, up and down. You know, hopefully we are going to snap out of this zone, either up or down. It doesn't matter. But, you know, I'm ready very much for a breakout here. So we need to understand the levels again. The only level that we had in between yesterday and today, as Aidan provided, you know, was also one of the scenarios on my setup today. My update in the Legends trading community, even though we were already, you know, kind of hitting the level, was hitting that low. But most importantly, this higher low. And this is only a scalp day trade, right? We're only looking for a move of 1,000, maybe 2,000 if we're lucky. If we were to get above 97,000, you know, obviously that would be nice. But we need to have take profit zones, right? We're really looking for a 3-4 to 1 risk reward, and we're getting out, guys. You know, getting into a long trade here and expecting a reversal breakout without taking profits, right? I'm gonna long here because this is gonna be the breakout. It's very wishful thinking, right? It's wishful thinking. Could it happen? Could it be legit? Could we finally moon? Yes, but it might not. We are downtrending. So if you're longing the lows, you need to take profit, right, at certain levels of resistance and signs of weakness, such as a swing failure pattern, right? It's just it's a must. It's a must, guys. We only here to scratch a few dollars. I know a lot of people would say long here now because we're going to go to all-time high. We just don't trade like that. As day traders, that is very much wishful thinking. We need to really go level to level here. There's just no other choice for a day trader. So anyway, I was in a long and closed 100% at the top, and I am in a short position. Not the best entry, 96.2. Very good, my man. Very good. Yeah, not the best entry. I mean, this is the kind of entry. I managed to get into the swing failure pattern here, but I just got stopped out. I got wicked out here. I was defensive on the movement down, and then I just got, you know, wicked out basically with this other pump before the pullback, which makes sense. It does make sense as an ABC here, and you have 5 waves. It's just like, you know much better than that. But you need to be focused. You need to have your coffee, and you need to focus on the trading hour, right? Where you just analyzing very carefully here the scenario, set the alerts, and just be very, you need to be a bit of a sniper, right? Because you know, I know a lot of people don't have time as well. I mean, sometimes I just miss out many trades because I want to do other stuff in life as well, right? Trading is all about enjoying life as well. Not only looking at, not only just staring the chart for hours and hours every single day, even though I do enjoy doing so. This is why, you know, I mentor and I always, and I look at the setups, you know, such as on YouTube and Discord, but you want to enjoy life as well, right? But if this would have been in my power hour, you're right, the you know, looking at the, you know, trading setup on my 2 coffees, then, yeah, no, this would have been a second option here to get into the short, just purely based on that 5-wave move up and speculate on the ABC flat. Anyway, it's enough. We need to focus a little bit on the higher time frame perspective here and what the heck is going on. It doesn't look good, guys. Very powerful movement down. I wouldn't speculate that this is corrective. Like I said, this would be a no trade zone with this movement down. If we would have moved in a 3-wave bullish CVD divergence, I would have said, you know what, this does look pretty damn good. But when we're aggressively moving down here, it's just not worth it. And obviously, I don't want to short here the lows just because, you know, you're aware of that reversal. I think we're probably hitting the 0.88. 0.88, yeah, not yet. Just about to hit it. Anyway, let's go through the comment section and then we'll analyze the different perspective, guys. Some things that we need to consider for the next 24 hours. So in between today and tomorrow, we want to have our levels ready, right? This is what we do on the channel. Sorry about the beginning of this stream. It was like really focusing on on what's happening locally here and explain the long that Aiden provided in the Discord, right? And explain the short as well here. And just to keep it more simple, it's a swing failure pattern. It's a liquidity grab. You claim the lows and you claim the highs. You bounce to the highs, you reject, to the lows in this case, right? Maybe we're putting too much effort on the technicals on Elliott wave theory here. And, if you want a simple answer, there was some liquidity here and the price fetched it, and there was some liquidity up here and the price fetched it. And then, that's it, guys. There's nothing more to explain. Thank you very much for joining, and I'll see you in the next one, right? No. Anyway, let's take a look into consideration the different levels that we do have on the 30-minute time frame. I need to go to Bybit, but we really need to not pay attention to this candle right there. Okay, I'm just going to leave that box because this candle is only on Bybit, but I have all of the levels and all of the analysis on basically on Bybit, so I don't want to flip it right now to Binance just because of this wick. Anyway, your long was the better setup, says Junior. Absolutely, his long setup was absolutely on point. Junior here saying that his long setup was the best one, the better one, right? Anyway, chart here has the comment section has disconnected here for some reason. Let me just refresh this. What's going on? My stream froze for some reason. Okay, there we go. Stream froze. What's going on? Okay, I can see the comment section now. Comment section is live and it's rolling. Let's go through comment section. Say hello to the beautiful community. Aditya, shout out to you. Much love. I can see Ite Jr. How are you doing, my man? Also a legend right there from the Discord. Empire Trades. It will move down, says Empire Trades. It will move down, right? Very, very, very confident on the will. It will move down or it will move up. We have levels that we need to speculate on some trades, but it does make sense based on the overall trend that we will move down again. Just because it's becoming a kind of a routine right now for the last few weeks for Bitcoin. Every bounce comes back down to the lows, at least in the last 2 weeks. I mean, if you count the last 3 weeks, this week was pretty aggressive. The volatility moved down. But you understand here that every bounce is going to come back down, right? Every bounce is going to come back down to the lows. It's just, rejecting. So just based on what's happened throughout the last few weeks, you would come to that conclusion, right? It's just, we're not seeing the signs of a reversal here. The signs of a breakout. We're trying to catch the lows and we need to aggressively take profits on the longs, and also take profits on the shorts, okay, at the lows. The lows are basically your target. If you shorted this level, you need to take profit at the lows, especially if you if you tap the level and you trade back above the level. If you shorted here and the price taps the low and manages to get back above and you did not take profit from your short at the lows, then the price might come up and test the lows, right? Same applies for the long setup, right? If we longed here in this area and we tap the highs and we reject from the highs, it is time to consider to aggressively take some profits because the breakout did not follow through. Simple as, right? It's simple. So you need to scratch some profits, guys. It has to be, a religion if you do not break out from a major high, and even consider the short. So yeah, just a little little overview of this situation here. So if you shorted, eventually you want your stop loss at break even. Now you can't turn this into a losing trade. If your stop loss is here and you entered here on the rejection, and you're having a 2.5 to 1 risk reward now, and you get stopped out, then I would say you need to you need to you need to reorganize your strategy, right? You can't turn this into a losing trade. This is why good traders do get stopped out at minor losses, or at, close to break even to pay some fees, and that's it. And if you do test the lows and you trade back above them, you need to take profits. Most of them, I would say 60-70%, because that could be just a liquidity grab and you come back up. Same applies if you shorted this downtrend and you got into the latest lower high. You need to take profit at the lows, because then this happens. This could happen, right? And then this either stops you out at break even or at a loss, and you haven't made any gains because you did not take profit at the lows. This is just to be a little bit more aggressive taking profit, guys. This is just there's no real proper education. It's just, it's education on, we need to take more profits, right? We need to take more profits. I know a lot of people really like to leave sometimes their position very big, and this is going well, this is going well, and this is going well, and they it happens to everybody, right? Same on the people that have their losing side of trading, right, where they hold the position and they add to the position and they hope for a reversal. Everybody has had that thought always in trading, okay? Whoever says no, they're lying. Everybody has experienced that moment in trading where you don't have a stop loss and you just add to the position, or you expect a reversal, and then you get into a massive loss and you get underwater very aggressively, right? Everybody has experienced this, right? Dollar cost says Sports. Dollar cost average on a swing, on a trade. Yeah, well, this is the thing. I mean, I don't like that kind of strategy, okay? You ain't going to see me ever add, unless it's a 0.5 position, and then I say, okay, if we do get a reaction, I'll add another 0.5, but always in the risk management band of, not losing more than, 2 to 3% max on a trade. I might add, slightly on that, on that position, but classical trade investment, says DJ Monte. This is something that's happened to everybody. Everybody watching this stream right now has experienced the getting into a trade and adding to the position and hoping for a reversal. And yeah, it's just common, right? It's just common, especially for beginner traders, or losing traders, right? You can say, losing traders will always use that kind of strategy, which it's just a little tip there, guys. The sooner you get away from that kind of strategy, then because it's a losing strategy, in my opinion, the better. Smash up the like, says Aditya. Absolutely, my man. Much love to you. You ever use trading bots, Andy? I have used a few trading bots, and they end up not being successful long term, I have to say. If you have a good trading bot, I'm happy to test them. I've tested a few. I mean, not many, half a dozen, so about 6 or 7 trading bots. I haven't tested 100 bots in my career as a trader investor. I've only tested 6, and most of them kind of play out a little bit in the beginning, but then they tend to fail a little bit long term, right? And long term, I mean, the 3rd, 4th month, the small little profits that they make, they just don't manage to have. I mean, the ones that I've tested, okay, there's maybe now a great AI bot that makes sustainable 10-20% a month. I would be happy to test it, because I got some cash which I don't know what to do with. I got some reserves that I would be happy to use on some bots, but the ones that I've tested, you know, not that. I could always put it on some stocks that pay dividends and all of that, but I want to have some cash reserves. It's the worst feeling ever, says Jill. Yeah, this is the thing. That's me, says Ghost Levy. That's me, the one that gets into a trade and hopes for the reversal and you add to the position. Guys, do not do that. You know it's a failing strategy, right? You know it's you will catch many. The thing is that you will not get stopped out, and the price does reverse a few times, right? The price does reverse a few times, and you know this is sometimes works, but it works short term, right? I can just tell you by experience because I've done this before. I've done that style of trading where you just get into a short position and you add to the position when it's against you, and then you're like, I've added too much here, too much that I can afford to lose, and your liquidation is here basically, right? I don't want to add any more. Oh my goodness, you know, and it just stops you out, and then comes to, you know, would have got you break even or whatever. Don't trade like this. Do not trade like this, guys. This is the main reason why people lose. This is long term, right? It's so simple. It is so simple to understand why many people lose. Why do you know traders that have very low experience, give or take 1 to even 3 years of experience, end up losing and burning their account? Because they have this mentality, right? They at some point they use this. They add to the position and they hope for a reversal, and they basically realize that they've added too much, and price, the day that the price does, you know, this is the perfect event that happened Sunday 2 weeks ago. Imagine the people that were longing Bitcoin on Saturday, Sunday with no risk management, no major plan, no good stop losses, and were just adding to their position. This went on Saturday to Sunday, early Monday morning, right? It was actually slightly more than 24 hours, going from $102,000 to $90,000 almost. A drop here. I mean, on Bitcoin, it's not that much, but an 11% drop, which is basically peanuts for altcoins. But people that are trading Bitcoin with high leverage, we're talking about 40, 50, 60x, right? Or, you know, even 30x. You're not going to get saved with a 30x plus because you've dropped more than 10%, right? So, you know, the people that here were, oh my goodness. And this was the biggest liquidation event on Bitcoin, I think. The 2nd of February was the biggest liquidation event, bigger than FTX collapse and bigger than the C19 collapse, which was not small. So my goodness, the amount of people that got wrecked with this move is incredible. It's incredible. It's the biggest wrecked movement that we've had on Bitcoin ever. Bigger than FTX collapse, bigger than C19 crash in 2020. People got more wrecked than those times. You know what happened to me? Nothing happened to me. I mean, I was not in a short. Maybe shorted somewhere in this zone as day trading, as you know, but I didn't get into a swing short and I didn't look for longs. And especially it was the weekend, so I don't usually trade on the weekend, just try to stay away from the chart. But just with the data, you realize how many people got wrecked with that movement. And this is people that are adding to their position as well, or not having any stop losses, or just say, if we don't hold here, we should hold here, we should hold here. Oh, this is the low that's going to hold. I'm going to add a little bit more. And then you got the latest, drop here of $6,000-$7,000 This is the event. That's the event where people just, don't have any more funds to add to their longs, right? And they get exterminated. Don't be that. Don't be those guys, okay? Don't be part of those guys, all right? Look for day trade scenarios that could turn into a swing trade. And my long trade yesterday, I got stopped out. Yes, at break even. I was defensive. We got the movement up. I was interested in a short. But the long trade had a reason. It had the naked point of control from this price action. And, right? And we also, what other confluence did we have? I think we did have some other confluence. Yeah, the golden pocket from the pivot low to the pivot high. There was a bit of confluence here for a reason of a long trade here. But the moment the price breaks down against you, it's not worth it to add to the position or do any of that nonsense. And you might think, okay, but if I would have got stopped out here, if I didn't have a stop loss from that long position, and I would have managed to get out safely here because the price came back up to my entry zone and actually in profits. Well, it's not always like that, right? It's not always like that. This is why when you kind of use this, I'm not using stop losses, and I'll rather add a little bit more to the position. And, depending on the levels, and people will get saved a few times. This would have been a saver. You would have got saved here if you did not have a stop loss, either at break even, right, or slight loss. You would have got saved based on price going against you and then looking, but this is wishful thinking. This is wishful thinking, right? You don't know how severe that drop is going to be. So always have stop losses, guys. Minor losses is one day. Next day is going to be a good day. There's opportunities every single day as we do, show you, we do prove to you that there is opportunities every day, even though if it's a move of $1,000, like Aiden, shout out to Aiden, he's here in the comment section, even though if we miss the short, well, we look for a long. If we miss the long, we look for a short. If, there's always an opportunity to get into. Don't get into that bloody trade that is going to get you wrecked in a few days. Don't do it, guys. There's an opportunity every day. Anyway, sorry about that, guys. I thought I've done the analysis, but a little bit of chit chat here. But I can see the views are still there. People are not bored from it. So make sure to destroy the like button if you liked a little bit of that. This is just a conversation, guys. Just some little tips. I got burnt, guys, many times before in the past. And it doesn't happen anymore, guys. I don't get wrecked anymore. And I want you guys to not get wrecked either. Okay. And I know a lot of people don't get wrecked that do follow me. I'm pretty much sure that many don't, but I know a lot. The average is a lot. And I always need to remind the people on, we just trade the levels of interest. We just trade our plan that we create. Always. Either a short or a long. Nothing out of that. I'm talking about my style of trading, guys, okay? Maybe you have some other strategies that work out very well, but I'm talking the one that works for me very successfully, and I really want to just share with that. And you might think, I remember somebody that was a colleague of mine that was in a trading course that we made many years ago, and he was like, oh my goodness, this strategy should not be shared because it's not going to work in the future, right? If everybody knows about this strategy will end up not working, right? Because everybody's going to try and use it, and not everybody can win. And trading is not about that. Trading is not about the strategy. It's about your risk management. And that's the secret sauce. But, the secret sauce is your risk management. You can know all of the technical analysis in the world, that if your risk management is very poor, you'll end up losing money at the end of the day. So, You know, that's the secret sauce, guys. It is. It truly is. You know, obviously create the plan and have your good risk in place, okay? And never get into those kind of style of trading. Anyway, that's enough talk about this. Let's really focus on what would be the next levels of interest here. Much love to everybody, guys. I got wrecked once and learned my lesson. Yeah, my biggest wreck lesson, I don't want to go through the story. I think most of the followers do know. It was in 2019 where I lost about $20,000. And that was a lot of money back then for me. And it was basically a few months of profit, consistent profit, because I started to become profitable in 2019. I went from the break-even stage to being profitable. And I wrecked those few months of profit in less than 5 days in a very toxic swing trade that was basically adding to the position, right? And expecting for a reversal. And that's already 6 years ago. Time flies. And yeah, that was my latest lesson, basically, of never again doing this, because there's no worse feeling than getting into a good, profitable few months, right? And then just with one bad decision, swing trade, you burn all of your account. You burn your profits, basically, that you've been building up for the last few months. And it does happen on a regular basis to a lot of people that end up leaving the industry, basically, right? Because they just can't manage the consistency. And this happened to me eventually, guys. Everybody goes through those phases. It's just inevitable. It's nobody becomes a professional trader from zero, right? You need to go through this. Oh, I shouldn't do this ever again. Why? Because I've lost $20,000 and it was profits that I made. Where were your mistakes? And for me, it was simple. It was just I was expecting a reversal and I was just adding to the position. It was on Bitcoin. I can't remember exactly the zone. And yeah, that's basically it. Don't trade like that. You will end up getting burnt at some point. You can have profitable moments, but the price will come after you. I can tell you that. Once you're completely wrong on your side, right, on your analysis. Anyway, like the video. Higher time frame TA coming up. Yes, sir. Ghost Levy. Let me just confirm here with the like button. Sorry about that, guys. I got a little bit of chit chat here. Let's focus on the next levels, guys. We're not here to cry and to give advice on risk management. Shut up. Do your technical analysis. Right? Thank you very much, guys. Let's get to over 300 likes. I'm going to disappear for 10 seconds. And when I come back, I want to try and hope that we are going to be above 300 likes. And then we're focusing on Bitcoin, guys. Let's get the levels. Let's get the scenarios. It's about time. Let's disappear for 10 seconds and see if we can get above 300 likes, legends. Wow, amazing. All right, it's a faceless stream today, so maybe that's the main reason that not many people are leaving the stream. Maybe that's the main reason that not too many people are leaving the stream, because you can't see my horrible face. Let's go right away through the Bitcoin technical analysis. We're going to keep it simple, guys. What are the strongest levels of resistance and what are the strongest levels of support that we do have on the chart, okay? And we're going to go fresh with the Binance US dollar tether perpetual chart, okay? Because there is a wick that is just making my eyes bleed on Bybit, okay? There is that wick that happened today, and I hate analyzing the chart when there is a wick in the middle on the chart that I analyze. That is the only exchange that created this wick, right? Maybe another one did so as well, but it was mainly Bybit. And it makes my eyes bleed because we're using the pivots, right, locally. And I prefer to just analyze from a fresh start here, another chart. But I do have most of the levels here on Bybit. So, I mean, first of all, we'll go through the levels and the scenarios that could happen here. Now, a main reason why we are holding this area, guys, we're going to keep it relatively simple. Just looking at the range, I'm a bit tired right now to really speculate on on this reversal, right? It's just been going too long, ranging slightly to the downside. Highs, lows, highs, lows. We are just going to go through the most important levels, and that's it, right? I think it is not bad to speculate on longs at the lows, okay, based on a possible breakout and a possible move up to claim the higher time frame highs, in this case at 98.7. I think it's not a bad idea to have a small position at lower levels. But overall, we are downtrending, right? We're still downtrending. We do think that reversal is going to happen. But let's talk about the most important zone, which is the zone of the last 2 weeks. This is a zone. It's an area of trading, right, that we've had for 2 weeks already. When we get the value area of this range, we can see where the price is basically rejecting. I mean, we're probably counting a little bit of too much price action here from this pump all the way here. So, basically this is where the range started, right about this zone, right, up and down. You can see basically where the price is getting supported and getting resistance, right? Where we have the end of the volume, value area high and value area low. That's literally where you're getting the fake outs and the reactions, right? Almost tapping here. You did tap it right over here. We're currently holding this zone right now as well. The volume, no big major point of control. We just got a large mountain of volume. I wouldn't really consider this. I mean, if it would have been a big spike like this, then I would say, guys, this is a good level. But it's the volume is very much round. There's a lot of volume because it's just a large range. So the volume is very roundy. You don't have a big major spike point of control that is legit, just because the volume is everywhere, as you can see. And obviously just increasing the spike now based on this local price action of the last few days. So there's not really a reliable point of control at the moment, just because it's distributed throughout the entire zone of 95k to 100k, right? 99k. So this level is strong. This zone is strong, right? The zone is strong here. The value area low is relatively strong, and it is trying to hold as support. So speculating on local double bottoms here is not a bad idea. Just like speculating on a double top, which I did miss. I wanted a little bit more wicks here. This was my fault here. My fault. Maybe some of you guys did enter this short. It was a very acceptable short, I have to say. Always when you test a higher time frame high, it's always acceptable, even though it's, just make it if you're in doubt, like I was in doubt, I'm not a perfect analyst, guys. If you have a little bit of doubt, but you recognize it could be a good trade, you just enter with a little bit less capital, right? Give or take 0.7%, 0.8%. But this was very much an acceptable short. And this zone has to be an acceptable level of longs. Just taking into consideration the confluence on the higher time frame, very simple, range highs, range lows, right? Just keeping it very simple for the viewer, right? So any local double bottoms, higher time frame, higher low, needs to be considered as a swing failure pattern. This is why the legends got into a long position that was very much updated, all right, with the exact setup, the entry point, the stop loss, looking for that wick down, right, and giving the guidance here with exactly what we are doing. And obviously we are not financial advisors. We're just expressing what we are looking at and what we are doing in detail. And if you want to take action as well, then you take it. All of this, you do have it in the Legends Trading community, guys. I think that most the people that join do see their insane value, because we always pop some of these scenarios up on the stream, right? We always pop them. I have the analysis that I explained, which is also explaining this long and the short also from the highs. You get the setups on text. You got Devil's analysis and live streams. You also have Dylan, which is focusing on altcoins, absolutely crushing it as well. You have all sorts, right? If you are looking for the trading hub, right? There's no long, you know, you want to check it out with your own eyes, right? Which is the Legends Trading community, guys. It's the fourth link down below. You got the free Discord as well, where there's a lot of active people there. Just join the free Discord and get familiar with sharing your charts and asking, you know, questions or sharing your perspective if you're experienced, right? It's all about being in a community at the end of the day. So we have to give the bulls a chance, just like we have given the bulls a chance for a long time now in this downtrend. I gave the bulls a chance here, bulls the chance here, the bulls a chance here. This was the weekend. I missed the short, and I gave the bulls a chance here. Missed this short, which was acceptable, which was the 0.618, right? I preferred the 7.8, and the latest long was the one early this morning, right? Which is not this wick here. This was on Bybit. It was slightly one right over here claiming this low. And basically to take out the highs, right? You move up $1,000, you're taking profit. And the next short was this one, which I got wicked out. Nasty wick here with that just, you know, movement up, which has been explained, you know, in detail, right? The reason why, if I get wicked out of a trade and the price goes in my favor, I want to understand why. And anybody that has a little bit of a basic knowledge on Elliott wave theory would simply understand, if this is an aggressive move down and you got this movement up and you test the lows here, you have a chance in sweeping up the highs for an ABC flat. And in a C wave in the flat, right? For anybody that is just joining the stream right now, you want a 5-wave move up, not a 3-wave move up. So it makes sense that this was not the perfect rejection level, where myself, with a lot of experience, should have understood that one more double top would have been the best option, because you're finishing a 5-waver here in that speculative ABC to then get into this short position. So you always need to find the reason, right? Why did I get stopped out? What was the structure? Why was, and this is the reason. This is the reason why. No, there's not much to follow through on that. So looking at the higher time frame perspective now, yes, guys. Analyzing the local waves that have been happening right now. Let's just get the value area low. Let's clean the kitchen, as Devil says. We got a super chat. Can you take a look at ACH? Yeah, we can take a look at some altcoins later on, guys. Let me just get a drink of water. But we need to focus on Bitcoin still. It's been a bit of too much of a chit chat live stream, guys. I'm extremely sorry here. We haven't really. I usually provide the value and the analysis and the scenarios the first hour of the stream, but I've gone off the rails today just by talking about risk management, which is sometimes good as well. Just to keep you grounded, right? It's important to be grounded. So anyway, let's focus right now on the analysis on the higher time frame, right? What is the worst case scenario, right? Am I considering still? This has to be a dangerous area, guys. I don't like this. I don't like this zone. I am scared. I am scared of trying to catch another bottom, just like we have been doing throughout the last few days, right? Or even in this zone over here. Some beautiful swing failure patterns here, right? Would I consider more swing failure patterns? The local ones are being a little bit dangerous, I have to say. And there is a reason why. You know, this double bottom, absolutely great. We did not tap this low on Bybit and a few of the exchanges. We did on Binance. We did actually swing failure pattern late last night, I think this was, yeah. We did create a swing failure pattern here on Binance. On some exchanges, we did not claim this low from the 13th of February, which was acceptable just to claim it on all of the exchanges and then form the double bottom, right? Which was the trade provided by Aiden early this morning. But what about now, right? Would I consider another double bottom, right? Will it be a good trade setup? I'm not liking it too much, and there is a reason why based on this movement down. Okay, we'll look at the different scenarios. We could always consider a local double bottom or a double top, especially when you are at the value area low of the entire trading zone, right? You're at the value area low. We know that you wick, right? You could be fake outs, and you finally recover at some point with a large move of a few $1,000s. So it's like, come on, this is the value area low of the last few weeks. Can we attempt it again, please? And I have to say, yeah, I mean, it is still support, and it's still a liquidity grab zone till it's broken. So if we do know it's the value area low and it's been providing strong support, but as they say, the more times you tap a support level, the weaker it gets. And at some point, you can just collapse from it, right? You can just break through the level. And that's what we want to consider, right? If we always want to try and speculate the reversal, triple, double bottom, you always need to consider that this at some point is going to happen, right? Or could happen. Not that it's going to happen. Maybe this is going to happen, right? And you get the breakout. So you need to take a look at the both of the faces, right? It can be very good, but it could also be very bad. And you do not want to be in that long position if we break down, right? It makes sense, right? It has to make sense. I think it's the explanation is very, very, very simple, right? And it's sensible and it makes sense. You do not want to be in a long trade here with no stop loss and adding to the position. You really want to have your stop loss below the fake out. Once you recover and you trigger the long, you want to have your stop loss beneath the fake out, right? And this is the value area low of the entire trading zone of the last 2-3 weeks, right? Give or take more than 2 weeks. It wants to break down. It looks like it anyway. So the more times you tap a level, the more cautious you want to be when you are downtrending, because you know that this is getting risky and this could collapse and game over, guys. We're coming down actually now as we speak to the level. Okay, so it's going to be an interesting point right there. Whoever got into the short, congratulations. I got wicked out, guys. It does happen. It does happen. You know, there's no perfect trader, no matter how experienced you are. Every day is day one, and every day you need to take action. And yeah, I got wicked out here because of being defensive, of course. The people that did not have stop losses here and either added to the position, right, or I don't know, yeah, basically using some kind of the strategy, they are making gains now. So how come me with, you know, more experience and, you know, with a good track record and making gains, right, missed out on this short, and maybe you watching this, you know, doesn't manage risk, but you are making some pretty cool profits right now, right? With a movement of almost $2,000, right? You didn't get stopped out. You actually entered really high and you're making profits. That strategy is destined to fail in the long term, guys. It is destined to fail. You know that. You watching me this right now, giving the explanation and drawings of this situation, if you're in a short position here from higher and you're in profit and I'm not, because I got wicked out here managing risk, but you making gains, but you did not have a proper strategy. You didn't have a proper stop loss, a proper, right, risk management plan. And this will work out sometimes for you, but long term it fails. Because the moment this goes against you and you don't have a stop loss and it pumps hard, then you get wrecked. Instead of losing this, which is either be defensive and you basically, break even kind of setup right there once the price goes in your favor, or tiny stop loss, you end up losing this, which is 10 times what you shouldn't have lost, right? 10 times what you should have lost, sorry. So this is going to play out a few times for some people, but there will be a moment that you will burn your account, right? The price is just going to go against you. You're not having a stop loss and you will lose. You will lose. I'm ending up here explaining this, guys, and not going through the analysis. I'm sorry. But I think it's important, okay? It's important. I'm really trying to go deep into the psychology and the risk management because I do know that some people watching might have a year, 2 years of experience, maybe 3 years, but they're still in that break-even zone, right? Losing, winning, losing. It's just important tips that we need to talk about, which a lot of channels don't talk about. A lot of channels is like, I'm getting into a long, I'm getting into a short, where price should reverse right now. This is a trap, right? Is my last warning trap situation, right? And we really need to go through the education and how you want to, basically day trade. So I think this kind of live stream is very important once in a while, and not just go through the levels and what is the highest probability and the technicals. We need to go through the important, right? The importance of risk management and psychology. Okay, so this is support. We hit the 0.88. Hitting the 0.88, is decreases the probability that this is going to be a wave 2, right? It's just the nature of the waves. The moment you hit the 0.88, it comes very rare for it to be a successful corrective structure to then pump in a wave 3 in this case, right? Or a wave C, right? Get a nice breakout. It does happen, but it just decreases the probability where you're likely going to get a bounce and you're going to end up taking that low. That's what usually happens when you hit the 0.88 Fibonacci, right? So that's not giving, a lot of advantage for the bulls right now. If you were to consider this an impulse 5 wave and this a correction, which is very one wavy, to be honest, first of all, very powerful. So there's just there's a low probability that this could be the low and you break out from here. It does happen, but it's all looking at the probable scenarios. It does happen, but it doesn't happen that much. You can bounce very strongly, but you end up taking out the low if you've retraced that much. So I would rather, it would be nice to get that, wick of the lows. We have to consider that we're just looking at the range, guys, and looking at the downtrend. We need to consider that we could get, the price of Bitcoin has been so boring. When are we going to have some volatile news, my goodness, to break out of the structure already? Because I am, I don't mind, because we day trade anyway. We're happy with a move of $1,000 on Bitcoin. We could make some money out of $1,000 move, but it's getting already quite boring, right? Let's just break out with an impulse and start getting into another range, because this is just getting extremely boring. On Wednesday, we do have FOMC minutes. That's going to be interesting. Tomorrow, we got building permits, housing starts. We do have a little bit of nice news tomorrow. So we should be doing a live, and let's see if we do get some volatility out of the range already, because my goodness, we're all falling asleep with Bitcoin at the moment. Some people are calling 80K, and some people are calling 90,000, all-time high. And, you know, we've been ranging for over 2 weeks now in a $5,000 range. You know, stop talking nonsense of 70K or 100 or all-time high. This is getting boring. We need to focus on the range. As long as we're still in the range, we need to trade the range. So now we're at the range lows. I would be a little bit cautious, guys, with another local double bottom. It could happen. We just hit the 0.88 now, getting a bounce of a few $100. Not a trade that I don't usually short. I don't usually trade a lower time frame 0.88 Fibonacci. If it's a higher time frame one, I would. I mean, this one was a beautiful one right there. Look at this 0.88 touch from this pivot high to the pivot low right over here. 0.88 Fibonacci. Beautiful rejection here of several $1,000s. Well, 2,000, right? Almost, yeah, $2,500. Nice rejection of the 0.88. Lower time frame ones, they're just not that attractive. So, do I consider a double bottom here? I have to say yes, guys. It is still the range lows. Why not get a bounce as we have done throughout the last 1 to 2 weeks? Why not get another bounce? If we do claim the lows with a wick and we do get back above the low, we can consider the trading setup and be defensive on your stop loss. And if you come back down and you get stopped out at break even, then it was just another attempt. You just pay a few dollars of fees and happy days, we move to the next one. If this one is the one that gets the reversal, then absolutely golden. We got a nice little swing trade, all right, to look for higher levels. So yes, I will consider it. Could this be the higher low and we bounce from here? Well, that will have to be that, right? It's just, for me, not a long trade here. If we were to break down, what other levels do we have? I mean, let's take a look here at the previous week levels, previous month levels. Previous week low is this pivot low right over here. So last week on Wednesday, we created a low, which was at $94,000. This has to be a good liquidity grab level. It has to be a good level to speculate on a long position. I think we do have a naked point of control. Relatively, yeah. We have a naked point of control. And this is from, and guys, you know, whoever's in the short, then, you know, if you break down from the lows, if anybody that entered the short position, and we break down, and this is how you literally want to, you know, maximize your profits. If you shorted here, we're literally at the lows, so why not scratch some profits, you know, just in case you get an epic bounce out of nowhere. You're trying to hit the lows, but you're literally at the lows. You know, this has to be a take profit zone. If you're in that short position, you're having 30-40% open, and you break down from the lows, not managing to recover, you maintain that short until you hit the next level of support. I mean, there's not much here. There's a lot of inefficiency. There's just a big, you know, couple of candles here. No big ranges, no high volume nodes. The highest volume node that you have here is from Monday the 3rd of February, right? There's not much support here in this area. So if you're in a short position, right, and you have, you know, 40% open, right, or 50% open, if you break down from this low successfully, your next take profit zone is going to be this one if you swing failure pattern. So if you swing failure pattern from this one, you take profits from your short, most of them. If you break down, you hold on those profits just because we don't have much support here. Well, there's nothing there really. I mean, the 0.88 as a nasty bounce, right? 0.88 could be a little bit of a a tough nut to crack sometimes, right? Just like this 0.88 right there. But I mean, we did have some confluence here. We did have a nice range, nice high volume spike there. It ended up here also with a rejection on the 0.88. But there's really not much here. So if you break down successfully from that pivot low of today, you manage to get into the short, you've taken a bit of profits. If you swing failure pattern, you take most of the profits and you look for a hedge long. If you break down, you maintain that short position from here and you only take profit if you swing failure pattern from this low. So you need to be relatively active or just have a limit take profit level there. And if you break down from this level, then eventually you hold on to the short position until you recover a level of resistance, right? To see a sign of strength. You know, once you recover from a level, right, and you see a slight sign of strength, then you want to take your profits from that short, just realizing that it could reverse. So yeah, overall trend is down. The higher time frame, the daily time frame trend is up, but the 1 hourly, 15 minute, right, we are trending down. So looking at the local probabilities, is trend is your friend. Well, you know, coming down to claim the lows again is the highest probability. I mean, we've been speculating on a reversal here at some point, but let's just stay real. It's very, very poor, boring price action. And it is a downtrend, right, at the end of the day. So we want to be careful now on speculating on a reversal, and whoever's in the short position, I would maintain some of that short position, especially if you successfully break down, okay? And if you successfully break down from the lows, you hold on that short till we hit these lows, right? Now, as I am not in the short, I'm interested in looking for the longs. So I will, as I do know how to manage risk and pay a bit of fees if I get stopped out, you know, no wrecked happening here, as you do know, guys. I would reconsider the only two levels of interest that I do have here on the chart is the local pivot low, just because I would give another chance of the bulls to defend the value area low of this entire range of the last 2 weeks. But I would be very, very cautious in realizing, hey, this could end up being a very bloody movement down, right? It is about time to get a volatile move, guys, okay? When you range for such a long time and you're testing a support or you're testing a resistance, you know that you are going to get the breakout at some point, right? So you just need to have that in the back of your mind, that it's risky. It's starting to get risky to look for longs here because this could really break down with some power. So you just need to manage risk. Nothing to be, you know, afraid of. You just need to manage risk. You're right, with your stop loss beneath the low of the potential fake out. So test of the lows and a recovery above is a day trade to swing trade potential. I mean, this is why it's worth putting a small position here, because this could end up in a 5, 6, 7 to 1 risk to reward. So you don't need to go too crazy with that trade. You don't need to go all in. You can risk very small amounts and you can still make 6, 7 times, you know, what you've risked there. And if you break down from from the value area low and today's lows, then eventually this is an interesting low. Why is it an interesting low? It's previous week's low, right? Last week's low, previous week low here in the blue horizontal line. And when we take a look at the session volume profile, we got a naked point of control. We had a little bit of a consolidation on the 3rd of February on Monday the 3rd of February. There was a little consolidation here that left us a high volume node that was front runned right on the 12th of February with that movement down. We did not tap it. So this is a good, interesting level, right? I don't think we do have any major fibs from the pivot low here to the pivot high we got the 7-8. I think we talked about this zone when we were trading in this area. So we got the 7-8 Fibonacci from the low created on that massive liquidation event to the big bounce high, which was also front run on the 12th of February. So this becomes a very interesting, liquidity zone, right? It becomes a very interesting wick and recovery zone. So I am very much interested on a reaction on one of these levels, which they're very close together. It's either the pivot low here, which is the previous week lows. It's the naked point of control at 93.9. Also a level where you tap it, you get above it, you get an interesting bounce. It usually happens on these naked point of controls. There's two scenarios. You break through and you waterfall, or you get a little reaction beneath it and you get back above it and you instantly long it on the reaction. So it's a very interesting level. You also have the 7-8, which is slightly below, just a few $100 beneath it. Okay, so it's a bit far away. Could it wick down to the 7-8? If you break down from this level with no reaction and it just crosses the level, and then you're like, oh, we're crossing the major level of importance. There is many times where you can hit the fib level and then get the swing failure pattern. But then here, if you want a long, your stop loss is a little bit far away, right? And that's the danger of, I'm losing significant amount here. It's a large move of $600-700 for a stop loss. I mean, if you have a swing trader mentality, then you're like, okay, I'm risking 1% here because I think we're reversing to $102,000 in the next coming weeks. But me as a day trader, would be looking to take profit at the VWAP, right? First of all, at the wick low, at the lows of today, for example, right? If I'm looking for a bounce here, just a movement of $1,000, I would be happy with that movement based on the swing failure pattern. So lots of levels here. You got a higher time frame pivot low, which was last week's low. You need to just trade one of those levels. One of those levels for the long if we do get down there. For the reaction. And I can tell you, highly likely, one will get a bounce of $1,000 or so. Which one is the question? Well, we do not know until the price hits it and gets back above it. Once you get back above it, you can have an attempt for the bounce, right? There's no real other explanation behind this, right? I hope it seems simple to understand. It can be very hard to execute though. Okay, but what if the price reverses from here? I mean, the best short here today was previous week open as well. Look, this was very interesting. Previous week open was also the rejection today on that movement on the speculative ABC flat. I want to take a look on Binance, see if we did hit the 1.618. I don't think so, but just out of speculation, if this turns out to be an ABC flat, I want to look at the extension, because most commonly you form an expanding flat and your target zone most commonly is the 1.618, but in between the 1382 is very common as well. Fibonacci extension from this move. Most common is an expanding flat, but a regular flat, which is coming to the 236, right? Is also, I mean, it is common as well. That's the one that got the rejection here. I just wanted to take a look at that. So what if the price bounces from here? We are back testing the lows, right? We need to talk about that as well. I mean, very difficult long position here. 0.88 is like another option. It's always another option. We are hitting 0.88 a lot lately on the chart, and the price just leaves after hitting the 0.88. But it's never a level that I like to trade, just realizing that you usually just wick down, right? You usually wick down to the lows at some point, right? It's just like trading a long position at this 0.88 right over here. You get the pivot low to the pivot high. You hit the, whoops, my bad. you get it. Well, you did get beneath the level. I mean, this was not. Yeah, this is very choppy. But the 0.88 from this pivot low to the pivot high gets a bit of a reaction. You get a bounce, and then you wick down, right? You claim the lows. It's never, especially on the lower time frame, a major level that I would consider a long, even though if you got bullish CVDs. It's just very, very hard. I mean, sometimes you do form a harmonic as well. You know, 0.88 is also a harmonic target. But yeah, no, it's just not the best level to trade. Just realizing that you could just get wicked out very quickly. So they're just usually not worth it. Anyway, let's go through. I want to talk about the possibility of a breakout here, guys. But if the price does get punchy, I mean, there's only one thing here to consider. If you break out from here, there's a higher probability that this is still corrective, because the 0.88 is rare for a wave 2 and it's more common for a wave B. So I would really consider, if you don't take out the low and you bounce from here, I would still be interested in shorts, okay, based on the levels. And if we do take a look at today's levels on the Bybit chart, and we focus a little bit here, well, today we'll be breaking above the previous day value range. I don't think we have a good clear. There's no daily levels. Oh yeah, there is daily levels up here. I mean, it would be nice. You got a nice pivot high here. This daily level, we need to get it off the chart. Yeah, about this daily level, you do have a high volume node as well, if I'm not mistaken there. But it's not it no longer becomes a naked point of control just because you opened the next day in that range. But there is a high volume node, so yeah, you could speculate that there is good confluence here, because you got a daily level, you got a nice consolidation. Yeah, could you wick above these local highs? I mean, that would be a very, very strong movement. Let's take a look at Fibonacci from the pivot high. I mean, we need to go to the other chart because we got that bloody wick on Bybit, and that's where I have all my levels. If we do take a look at Fib from the high to the low here, you do have the golden pocket where you have, you know, all this consolidation. You have the naked point of control here and the daily level here as well. Not an easy area. It's a little bit wide, but it would be the area of reaction. Yeah, 50% Fibonacci no longer comes very interesting. I mean, you do have that higher low. Higher lows, higher low, lower high, sorry. Could it be this and then this? The best area is this one. Best area is this one here. But I just would consider it. I would consider it. You know, if we were to bounce, we know that we're downtrending. So it could be a fake out, just like the fake out that we had in the last hour, right? Which ended up very nicely as an SFP. Whoever's in that short, I would maintain some of that trade open, guys, just in case the price does go to lower levels. Guys, if you are interested in trading, you know where you get the biggest deal ever. You got $100 for free just by linking your email and your password, okay, your password and your phone number on Weeks, okay? Just need an email, link your phone number, and there's $100 that you get for free airdropped in the next 24 hours on Weeks, guys. You can also get 50% fee reduction. Take advantage, guys. It is free money that you can use for your trading, and you can withdraw the profits For all of the big whales, you do have $30,000. The more you deposit and trade and volume that you move, you'll be getting airdropped, okay? Thousands of dollars to your futures account, okay? Take advantage. It is the second link down below, guys. Weeks right now for me is, you know, very, very good because you just need an email and a password to sign up, right? You're not giving any information, which is very, very nice. Very good for a lot of the people. Anyway, those are the levels. Those are the scenarios here, guys. There is a couple of them. I mean, this one is interesting. This one is even more interesting. Local double bottoms. We want to be cautious, guys, just in case we do get the breakdown. But this, you know, eventually this low and this low would be the lows, right? Basically, liquidity grabs, guys. It's a liquidity grab game. The only level with no liquidity grab, it would be this one. I mean, you slightly got those lower highs here, but it would be, you know, a level of interest to speculate on a short. That is 97,500, depending on the reaction on the choppiness right over there. Let's go quickly through the comment section. Bap. Yeah, I got Andy's puppy on stream. Yeah, I got the dog who wants to go for a walk already. He's climbing the roof. He's getting a bit nervous right now. It's time for walkies. I think is the time bull BTC. I think this is the time bull BTC. Yeah, the time for Bitcoin to bull. Yeah, maybe. Anyway, legends, thank you very much for joining the stream. Not much to say. Bitcoin dominance pumping AF. It's so bad for altcoins. Very true. You know, still no altcoin season, guys. We'll be taking a look at some altcoins on the next stream. All right, I promise. Thank you very much for joining today, guys. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. We do this every single day. And if you want more updates, you got the Legends trading community. Today was the trade of the day, the long position provided by Aiden here in detail, right on text, guys. Check out the fourth link down below. That is where you do get access to the Legends trading community. Thank you very much for joining, and I will see you in the next one.